Joining me now is Sanjiv Ahuja. He's the CEO, and he is in business with us this morning. So can we confirm that you have that $585 million in financing?
Margaret, in a business like us, we are continuously talking to investors. And when we have news to share with you, we will come back and share that with you.
So that's a no.
What we are talking about today is the satellite we accepted from Boeing earlier this week. We launched the world's largest commercial satellite in November of last year.
That's what we're looking at here, this picture here.
Yeah.
But just to button up what we just said, you're saying that you don't have that.
Well, when we are ready to announce the financing, we will come and share that.
So you may have it, but you're not going to tell me whether you do.
When we're ready, we'll come and share that with you.
Okay, so back to the satellite here. These pictures that we have, they're courtesy of Boeing. To explain your business model a bit, this is basically your connection to consumers is going to be allowing the phone service via this satellite rather than going through a Verizon or an AT&T.
Well, what we are building is an integrated network that has a satellite in the sky. First time American consumers, whether they're in the middle of Yellowstone National Park or in the middle of Grand Canyon, can now talk on devices that are this size, not big, clunky, old-fashioned satellite phones. But when they're in urban areas, they're in rural areas where the terrestrial network is available, we are also building the world's first wholesale-only 4G LTE wireless broadband network. And that is an infrastructure which is taking over $10 billion of investment over the next 5 years from us. And we will take that broadband wireless capacity and make it available to the carriers that you mentioned and others, people that are not in the wireless business today. Take retailers, take a single person shop that is developing in Silicon Valley the next game. And they want to embed the wireless broadband service, we will make it available to them.
What you're talking about is extremely capital intensive. I mean, launching a satellite, getting all of that, hardware in place to make it work. Who have you signed contracts with to offer it to people like me, to consumers?
Well, we have several agreements in place today, and we are in the process of signing several more. As I said, we are working with several wireless providers, both regional and national. And we have 2 of them committed to use our service already. We're talking to very large national retailers. We have 1 of them committed to use our service. We're talking to several web players. We have 1 of the very large web player committed to use our service. We're talking to several device manufacturers that make components and devices like this that will embed our service and make it available to the consumer.
When will it be available?
The service will be available later part of this year. And obviously, what we're really focused on is the commitment we made to FCC to cover 100 million people by the end of next year and 260 million people by the end of 2015. And we're working really hard to exceed and accelerate that deployment. And today, we are fairly confident that we will actually exceed these goals, both for next year and 2015.
With these contracts that you have, and I know you're not talking about the specifics of who you're mentioning in terms of providers, what is the pricing going to look like for a consumer? How expensive is this kind of service going to be?
Well, this service, we think, will really change the pricing in the industry today and bring it down to a level where consumers can really start using data services without worrying about massive bills they get today. Today, an American consumer, on an average, pays over $200 more than a Western European wireless user does. $200 a year more on an average. We think with the kind of prices we can offer, because we are totally a wholesale network utility with very little expense that goes on anything besides building the network, which enables us to provide this service at a cost that hasn't been seen by the industry ever before. And we expect our retail partners will take that price and deliver a significantly lower price to the American public.
It's a big idea, and I know it's garnered the support of Phil Falcone, who we obviously know very well for his success as an investor. How much day to day do you interact with him?
Well, Phil is a good partner, and we interact a lot on the strategy and the direction of the company. But as you know, as the chairman and CEO of the company, this is a company I'm responsible for, and I operate that. I have a wonderful and very supportive board and an excellent shareholder base. Phil is an important investor, but we have a shareholder base which is very broad. We have several private equity funds investing in this company, very large financial institutions, both domestic and some of the overseas financial institutions that have invested in this company. So it's a very large investor base that I deal with, and a strong investor base. But Phil is an excellent partner to have, and I'm really excited to have him as a big supporter and a big investor.
And lastly, we've been reporting that you were looking at bidding for two companies, TerraStar and DBSD. Are you doing that? And is that something that Mr. Falcone weighs in on, or is that purely your
These are the decisions, the spectrum we acquire, the companies we acquire, obviously are the decisions of the company. And the board participates in these decisions. As you see, the demand for our service is really exceeding even the expectations we had half a year ago.
Good luck to you.
Thank you very much, Margaret.
It's a fascinating idea. We want to track your progress.
Absolutely.
Thank you for explaining it.